Bookworms. Have you ever read a book where you are surprised once you finished it about how the story structure was just unique and very well laid out, which made a story really interesting? That's what I experienced in this read that I just completed. Bookworms. Welcome to the Weekend Readers Book Club. Thank you again for joining us. And in this episode, we are doing an author that I have done already this year. The book is All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham. Now, the first Stacy Willingham book that I read earlier this year, absolutely loved and enjoyed, has made my bookshelf. So I'm going into this with somewhat high hopes. All the Dangerous Things was released earlier this year by Stacy Willingham. The story is somewhat told from the mother's perspective. Her and her husband have had a child. In the middle of the night, somebody comes in and steals the child. There's no evidence to support somebody has came in, so the child somewhat has disappeared. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows how. Nobody knows who done it. The mum, the police are at wit's end. There's no more to investigate, but the mum just keeps on trying to keep the case alive. On an off chance, the mum, Isabella, meets a podcast presenter. Podcast presenter goes, "Hey, how about we get some fresh eyeballs on the case? Come do an interview with me." They sit down, work through the case, and then, teaming up, they try and figure out what really actually happened to Isabel's son. Sounds like a crazy plot, but that's a story. So I've just completed All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham, and here are my thoughts about the book. Okay, so I've just completed All the Dangerous Things. The story, is told from Isabel's perspective. It features her husband, features the podcast presenter, and the cop. Now, the story itself is about her journey in relation to meeting a podcaster and, rehashing the case with him. Now, every 5 chapters or so, it takes you back to the past. So, Isabel's childhood. There is a reason for that, and that slowly ticks along throughout the story of this book. I got to around page 250 and I found myself having a holy crap breakout moment with this book, with the structure and the layout and the plot points to it, because throughout the story I found there were little breadcrumbs hinted out throughout the whole story, and I found myself going, oh crap, okay, I'm slowly getting to the ending and everything's slowly falling into place, which completely threw me off. But yeah, I just found myself just in awe of the way that Stacy Willingham told the story. The ending, I loved. The ending in this book, I loved, because it was just somewhat, the ending is great in this book. I really enjoyed it. I know there's not much to go on, but the less I give away about the book, the better. But yeah, in essence, I know the plot sounds crazy. A mum loses her baby and she has to try and keep the case alive, meets a podcaster, and they re-examine the case and they potentially go down another rabbit hole through that. It's just, it's such a crazy plot, but yet the writing fits the plot itself, because, the story itself is completely crazy. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham, and the question is, will this book be going onto my bookshelf? The answer is yes. I can't stress enough how enjoyable I found All the Dangerous Things. As I said, I got to about page 250 I'm reading the stories trucking along, but then around page 250, all the small things that are plotted throughout the story come together. And it made the story for me just be like, okay, sweet, excellent, let's go. I need to power through the ending. And then, I end up powering through the last, quarter of the book. So yeah, I have really enjoyed all the dangerous things. So, as a custom here at the Weekend Readers Book Club, as one book closes, another book has to open, and it is now time to find out what the next read for the Weekend Readers Book Club will be. And Bookworms, we can confirm that we are going back to back with repeat authors of this year, because the next read is The Hush by Sarah Foster. Sarah Foster, the author that we did do already a few episodes ago, got The Hush. Gonna give it a whirl. Yeah, The Hush by Sarah Foster, you are the next read for the Weekend Readers Book Club. So Bookworms, that there was my discussion about All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham. A book that is batshit crazy in relation to the storyline. The book that had a great main character with Isabel, but also the book that just, start to finish, I thoroughly enjoyed. As always, you can feel free to follow us. We are on Instagram and Goodreads under the name Weekend Readers Book Club. In addition, our podcast is available YouTube and podcast providers under the name The Weekend Readers. So Bookworms, until next time, thank you again for joining us, and happy reading.